Hey guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. It has been quite some time since I have posted in my Building My Subscribers Requests series here on this channel, and I really wanted to start getting back into that. I have a lot of fun building the houses or community lots or any sort of build that you guys request and posting it on my channel for you guys to watch, and I think you guys enjoy it as well. I get a lot of requests and I still have a lot on my list that I want to get to. But of course, if you have a request you would love to see me do in a future build, then definitely leave those down below. This build was requested by Anna Turner 2450, and I honestly thought that this request sounded so fun. So as soon as I seen it come across my comments, I made a note that this would definitely be one of my next builds in the series, and I actually built it quite some time ago. It's been a few months since it was requested. It was before I took a little bit of a break. So this build has been sitting in my archived builds, and I've just been waiting for the right moment for me to start the series again, and so here we are. But Anna requested for me to build a suburban family home somewhere either in Copperdale or San Sequoia. Of course, I chose San Sequoia. I love Copperdale, don't get me wrong, but San Sequoia is just my all-time favorite neighborhood in The Sims 4, especially for like suburban builds. And Anna said that there was a catch. The family is an alien family. The family consists of a mom, dad, teen daughter, child son, a baby girl on the way, and a pet cat that doesn't quite look like a cat. They want to live amongst humans, and they stay in their human disguises besides at night when they go to bed. Maybe there could be a few quirky things around the house that hint that they may not be human. I thought this sounded like so much fun to build, and it obviously all Sims games, you know, have aliens, but it really just gave me a flashback to like the Smith family in The Sims 2. Obviously it wasn't a complete alien family, there was only one alien and it was the dad. Well, I guess technically two, because they had an alien son as well. 2.5, because I guess their daughter was considered half alien. But it just really reminded me of that, because it's like an alien family that's wanting to live amongst humans in like a suburban residential area, and I just love the thought of that. So I knew right away that I was gonna want to jump on that and definitely build it. So there was a couple of things I knew I was going to want to do before I even started this build. One of those being that I knew I was going to want to make it like an ultra suburban house. Like, this is an alien family trying to pretend to be human, and so they're going to act even more human than humans do. You know what I mean? And they're going to have an even more suburban house than like a Karen would, you know? Like, they take everything to the extreme so that they can blend in, at least in their eyes. I can definitely see them having the best house on the block. Probably in all of San Sequoia, they have like the best and biggest and most suburban house. That there's no way that aliens live there. It's like only humans would be able to live in a house like this and be happy, you know? I also wanted to build a relatively large suburban build for this family. I feel like aliens are like ultra smart, you know, so they would obviously know a lot of like secrets to make a lot of simoleons, and therefore have a really huge house. And they probably also think that there's nothing more human than having a really big house with really good curb appeal and a lot of like human activities in the backyard, you know, like everything is like ultra human. I guess besides the very giant spaceship that I have in the back of this house, I really wanted to add a rocket ship, obviously, or else they're not going to be able to go back to their homelands and visit their family or their old neighborhood up in Sixum, you know? It just felt really needed for me to do that, so I thought of a few different ways that they could kind of write it off to make it seem normal. So for one, there's a lot of trees around it. I tried to cover it up. And I even thought about putting another building in front of it, but it's literally as tall as this house. And so it didn't make any sense. It's not like I could fit like a guest house in front of it and it cover it, because it literally wouldn't, or even a garage around it. It just wouldn't look good, you know? So I figured there's a lot of trees around it. Hopefully that's good enough. And if someone does happen to see it and they ask questions, then one of the parents is an astronaut. Okay? They're an astronaut. They're super smart. That's why they have so much money. And so that is strictly for work business. They don't use it for fun. Nobody else goes up in space other than whichever parent. Probably the dad, I was thinking, was an astronaut. And not even his coworkers know that he's an alien. Like, literally nobody knows. But that's why he has so many good, like, tips and tricks when they get up in space. Like, he knows all of the ins and outs and shortcuts and secrets that space has to offer, but his coworkers are literally clueless. Like, they think he's just super smart. So Sims are not the smartest. Aliens have realized that, so they find it very, very easy to trick them. Sims are very gullible. They really don't ask too many questions, and the family have all discussed this. If there ever is a Sim that is asking too many questions, then they find a way to get rid of that Sim. Whatever way that is, it's probably a not so friendly way to get rid of them, but they will do what they have to do to blend in and be able to live their life happily ever after here in San Sequoia among the other humans. So at this point in the build, I pretty much have the structure completely done, and I am now starting to work on the pool area, and I'm using the Greenhouse Haven kit to make a screened in porch sort of pool area, like as screened in as I can make it. Obviously the roof is a glass roof, so we're just gonna have to pretend that it's a screened roof, okay? But at least the windows that come with the Greenhouse Haven kit, they have a swatch that has like mesh in between the panels, and so it's obviously for like a screened in porch sort of thing. So I really enjoy making the screened in pool areas. I think it's super fun, and I actually think it looks really cute in The Sims, and I really hope you guys do as well. I do get some compliments every once in a while. I've never really had anyone tell me that they didn't like it, so that is definitely a plus because I really enjoy doing it. This one is a little bit more interesting shaped than I usually make my screened in pool areas. Like, I usually just do like a rectangle or a square and call it a day, but there wasn't really quite enough room for me to do what I wanted to do. And so I had to add an extra little piece onto the side. And I also added like 2 different porch areas. There's one directly under the glass roof, and then there's another one under like the main roof that's kind of covered, you know? And so I just think this area turned out really good at the end of the day. The only thing is, when I built this, I was about to say that I didn't realize the roof trick to make it look like it's still sunny and not dark. If you put the roof directly over the walls, then it will think it's inside, and so it makes the whole thing look shadowy, even if it's the midday, which is not good at all for a pool area. Like, you want it to be super bright and sunny. And then I always have to sneak some lights to make it look lit up when in fact it's not. But this was actually the build that I realized, I think, that if you place the roof like a tile in and then pull the roof eave out a couple to make it meet the edge of the wall, it looks like it's on the wall at the top, but it's not. I know that sounds confusing, but that kind of tricks the game into thinking that it's not a closed room, and so you don't have that shadow there. So I am jumping the gun and I am decorating the pool area. So we have a few different segments in the pool area. So we have this over here, which is like a little sitting lounging area where you can just sit and chat and maybe eat some fruit out of this cute fruit bowl, or maybe have some drinks. That little like outdoor patio set is from Patio Stuff, which could have been obvious, but maybe not. I do love this patio set though. I think it is absolutely adorable. The rug is from Backyard Stuff, which that is another one that I think is so cute. I absolutely love those 2 stuff packs. It makes a huge difference in my builds. Like, I know when I don't have them installed, and I totally miss them when it's time to do the backyard because that's just how much I love them. And I just have to point out how well does that rug match that little patio set. I feel like it matches so good, the blues and the greens. I know they're different shades of blue and green, but it still ties together really nicely. And I love how I made the ottoman in the middle white instead of the turquoise. I felt like it broke up the brightness of the turquoise a little bit. I love that patio area. The whole pool area, really, I thought turned out super cute. And then when you go down the steps, there's a little lounging area so your Sims can grab a tan. I don't know if aliens like the tan or not, but I'm assuming maybe they do. At least they could catch a little bit of a nap or just sunbathe, whether they get a tan, sunburn, whatever. And then the pool area itself, or like the pool itself, I have a little water slide with some pool floaties, and off to the side there is a grilling area where I put a grill with an umbrella table and chair set. That is from Backyard Stuff as well. I absolutely love that umbrella table and chair set. It is so adorable. I want one in real life. And I went ahead and cut out the floor plan. I know that, I don't know, do any of you guys enjoy the floor plan and get disappointed if I cut it out, or do you not really care? Because it was a little bit of a struggle for me. I did a lot of trial and error before I finally got to this floor plan, and the video is already long enough, and I already have it up to like speed 5, which I don't love to do. So I said, you know what, I can just cut out the floor plan because that was just a waste of time. It was a lot of adding and deleting, and so it really wasn't interesting at the end of the day. But I am curious though, let me know down below if the floor plan is something you enjoy seeing in a speed build and you get kind of sad if it's not in the speed build, or if you could care less and the decorating is what you enjoy the most. Because I feel like that's probably what it is. Like I feel like if you're watching a speed build, then the decorating aspect of it is probably your favorite to watch. But I'm not sure. I know everybody is different, so let me know how you guys feel about it. So the first room we are furnishing is the kitchen, and I'm doing an ultra suburban kitchen. Remember, this is an alien family that is pretending to be human, and so everything is as human as possible. I am using the fridge from the kitchen clutter kit, and I used the swatch. I'm not sure if you noticed or not. But I used the one that it has all these different drawings from the kids on the fridge, but at the very bottom there is a drawing of an alien. So that is one of the hints that I added that makes it seem like, you know, this family may not be human, but it's not obvious. It's, you know, they're a kid, they have imagination, so it's really not obvious. But that was my way of adding a little bit of a touch in the kitchen. And obviously, other than that, there's a lot of green throughout the house, which I feel like is like a really big alien color. When I think of aliens, I think of green. I know in The Sims 4 especially, because The Sims 2, they were only green. I'm not sure about The Sims 3. I didn't really play The Sims 3 much, but I know The Sims 4, you could do blue, purple, pink, green, whatever color alien you want, you can do. But when I think of aliens, I think of green for sure. So I thought it was super cute to add this swatch with the alien at the bottom. It was definitely going to be a missed opportunity if I did not choose that swatch. So this kitchen set is from the Royalty and Legacy expansion pack. Other than the Parenthood kitchen set, this is probably my next favorite. It's the most suburban out of all of the kitchen sets, if that makes sense. Like the Parenthood one obviously is like a family home suburban sort of look, and I feel like this one is as well. I was actually surprised to see this in the Royalty and Legacy expansion pack because it doesn't look super expensive to me. It is expensive in the game, but it doesn't look expensive, if that makes sense. Like it looks like just a normal family style kitchen set. Does it not? Am I wrong? But I feel like it does. But I also added a little bit of a breakfast nook area in the kitchen off to the side. The kitchen was such like a long, skinny area, And so I had enough room to section off a little bit to add a little breakfast nook area. And in the kitchen itself, I also added a few different like fruit bowls. For some reason, I feel like aliens would be super healthy. Like they don't like to eat a lot of fried food and stuff. They eat a lot of just healthy food like salads, maybe some grilled chicken with a good steamed broccoli on the side. I don't know, like whatever you think is healthy, I feel like that's what aliens would eat for sure. Like they know all about human food and how bad the greasy food is for humans, and it's even worse for aliens. And so they don't eat a lot of that. They definitely eat a lot of like healthy food. That's not to say they won't order the occasional, you know, pizza delivery if they don't feel like cooking maybe on a Friday, especially for the kids, but the parents don't love it. And I just had a little bit of like an image in my mind of like the dad trying to act human in front of like his neighbor or something, and they're in the kitchen talking, and he grabs like a whole raw onion out of like the vegetable dish or wherever the onions are, and he starts eating it like an apple because he's trying to be human, but he's not. That just seems like something that would happen. So we got the formal dining room done as well. I grabbed a table that I don't think I have ever used in a build yet. I'm pretty sure it is from Fitness Stuff, and I don't know, I grabbed it and put it down, and I thought it was different, and I don't know, I like it but I don't at the same time, but it definitely seems like something an alien family that's trying to be human would have in their house. It just, I don't know, it's different, but I liked it at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. But I paired it with the Get Famous chairs. Those are some of my favorites in the game, I've come to realize. It's like a normal chair, like a normal style chair that's not too normal at the same time. It has a little bit of a unique design, but it's a basic kitchen chair at the same time. I know that sounds contradictive, but yeah, I really like it. And then the swatches are really good too. I used the one with the green seat and the darker brown wood on the actual trim of the chair. And then on one side you have the sliding glass door where I put some blinds in front of, and then I put the cat's food, the quote unquote cat's food bowl right there. And on the other side, I end up putting like a hall table with a little digital picture frame, a lamp, and like some flowers, just some decorations there. And on both sides of that, I ended up adding the curved shelving, like the corner wall shelving that's from Cats and Dogs. I ended up putting that there just to make it look really nice. And I think I put a mirror in front of that, or well, above the hall table. I am now starting on the living room. I cut out a little bit of the video. I just pretty much decorated the hallway that was right there, and I made some other adjustments in some other spots of the house that really wasn't necessary to see, and so I went ahead and cut that part out. You can kind of see the hallway now. It just has a hall table and a chair and a few decorations, so it really wasn't worth watching. And then obviously the staircase is in there as well. In the foyer area, when you first walk in the house, I used the mudroom kit. I can't remember the full name, but it's the kit that has a lot of like mudroom supplies in it. I pretty much used that kit for the foyer way. I didn't really use much of anything else. I mean, there's some other pack items in there and some other base game items, but it mainly was the mudroom kit. And I think that kit is so adorable. I have like that ottoman or bench that has some pillows on top of it, and then I have the shelving on both sides and above it. And I also put some of the shelves that has a coat rack on it, and I just think that area turned out super cute. I have some mirrors on the wall next to the front door and another like standing coat rack. There's plenty of areas for this family to put, you know, their coats or human disguise or whatever it is that they need to hang out when they first walk in their house. They can totally do that. And I also put some shoes underneath the mirrors that were there. I feel like I love that touch. It makes it seem like this household has like a no shoes allowed inside rule, which is a totally human thing to do. So of course the aliens are going to do that to try and disguise their alien nature even further. So in the living room, I ended up using a relatively large sectional. I thought that room was a little bit difficult to furnish because of how like long and skinny it was. A lot of the rooms in this house end up being kind of long and skinny, especially just being on the bigger side in general, but I thought the perfect fit for the living room was using the sectional from Dream Home Decorator and just kind of customizing the size however I wanted and the shape however I wanted to do it. So I ended up using the corner piece. I don't get to use that like curved corner piece very often, so it was super fun to do it in this build. And behind that curved part, I ended up putting a floor lamp there, and I customized my own floor lamp. So I chose the one, I think it's from one of the kits to be totally honest, but it has like just a circular light on it, and I sized it down a couple of times, and I have the normal size one in the center, and then on both the left and right side I put the size down one, and I kind of placed them one on top of the other so it looks like just one complete lamp instead of three different ones. And I think it looks really good. It gives it sort of a spacey look, which I feel like kind of makes sense for an alien family, you know. They try their best to be as human as possible, but their alien comes out every once in a while. They can't help but like spacey things every so often. And other than that, I ended up putting some pillows on the sectional. So the sectional itself is yellow, and I put blue and green pillows pretty much all over it, and I think it turned out super cute. I love those three colors together. This whole house ends up having a lot of those three colors, but I think they go so good with each other. And the rug that I chose from Growing Together ties the blue, the green, and the yellow all together. And I put some white curtains in the living room just to break up all of the color a little bit. And I chose the Island Living ones. I thought it was a nice touch, and those are some of my favorites in the game. Other than the base game ones I always use, I really love those Island Living ones. I have a coffee table in there with some decorations on top of it, and I put a picture frame on the coffee table, and it's the one that has like a group photo of a sports team, and I feel like, you know, they're aliens, so the parents probably grew up in Sixum, not here in San Sequoia. They just recently moved here when they discovered their love for like human life and how they wanted to live in the suburbs. So I feel like they got like a random photo from like maybe a thrift store or something, or maybe they stole it from one of their neighbors' houses, or however they got this photo in their possession, they got it. And they kind of photoshopped their faces onto a couple of the people on the sports team. I know that's kind of random, but I feel like that's something an alien family would totally do to try to blend in and be like, yeah, see, this was me in high school. This was my high school sports team. I was totally here 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and here I am, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was funny. And then other than that, I just added a TV, and I put some ceiling fans in a lot of the rooms. I have it in the living room and a lot of the bedrooms. I've recently found a love to do that because I feel like it adds a really nice realistic touch. And I always add a ceiling light like clipped into it, and sometimes it doesn't work out completely, like the little fan blades kind of clip into the light itself, but I can ignore that, so hopefully you guys can too. But other than that, that's pretty much. Oh, and I also added a little teddy bear chair in there for the kid. So I thought that was a cute little touch. We got the hallway done. I got both the hallway bathroom as well as the master bathroom done, and the master bedroom itself. So the main bathroom, pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's got all the basics. In the master bathroom, I actually really love the way the master bathroom turned out. I recently found a love of making fancy showers, especially in the master bathroom. And so I use the platforms, and I usually make the platform step down into the shower. That's how my shower is in real life. And I just feel like it makes sense. It seems like it would catch the water better if it's kind of stepped down. And then I put a double shower in there. I chose the ones from like Discover University or Lovestruck. I don't remember exactly which pack it was, but one of the ones with the standalone shower heads that's kind of built into the wall. And then I make my own shower curtain by adding just a wall curtain there. That one is from Dine Out, and I chose the green swatch. We all know why. And I thought it was just super cute. I love the way that the master bathroom turned out. And in the master bedroom, I chose the bed from Lovestruck. I love that bed, and I put an ottoman in front of it, and the ottoman is actually from Kids Room Stuff, believe it or not. That is one of my favorite ottomans in the game. I really love how it has different drawers on the bottom of it. Like, it looks like it's an ottoman, but also used for storage at the same time, so I love that. And that color swatch is perfection. I love the light wood with the beige on top. It matches literally everything, and that's the only swatch that I really like as far as like an actual house goes, and not like a kid's room. Obviously it's from Kids Room Stuff, so a lot of the swatches are super colorful. There's like a hot pink one with hot pink zebra print on top, and just a lot of different bright colors, which makes sense for a kid's room, and so I can't complain too much. But if I'm putting it in the main part of the house or the parents' room, then a light colored swatch just makes more sense than a hot pink one with hot pink zebra print, you know? But one thing about the parents' bedroom, it's pretty self-explanatory, other than the fact that I put a little spaceship model from Journey to Batuu. I think that is the first and only time I have used an object from Journey to Batuu, and I forced myself to do it. I didn't want to. You know, Journey to Batuu, I'm not a Star Wars fan, okay? And with that being said, it really wasn't that bad of a pack. The only thing is the fact that you play it one time and that's basically it. Like, it's like a one-time thing. So if you're a huge Star Wars fan, it's probably worth it to you. But if you're like me and you're not a huge Star Wars fan, probably not worth it. But I'm also like a Sims stan, and so I got it anyways. Some of the items aren't too bad. Like, there's a certain floor tile, it's like a stone, that looks really good. I just don't use it because I don't like to use the Journey to Batuu pack. I know a lot of people don't have it, and so I just choose not to use it. But in this build, it was necessary because I needed to get a little like model spaceship, and Journey to Batuu is the only pack that has one as far as I know. And I put one in the parents' room because I thought that was like their old mothership, you know, that's like where their little alien community grew up, and they just have like a little model version of it, and it's in their room because who goes in their room besides like them and their kids and like their family, their close-knit little family. So that was one of the little hints that this family might not be human, you know? Another little hint that I added was in the office downstairs, and I just put that little alien looking handmade clutter piece. I really don't know what you call it. It looks like almost like a sock monkey, but an alien head version. But it's from Strangerville, and I thought that was another good little hint that maybe they got that. Maybe that's like their childhood stuffed animal or something, you know? So whatever it is, it was an alien, so I had to add it somewhere. One other thing about the parents' room, I ended up putting a baby's bassinet in there. The baby does have her own room because remember, part of the storyline was that the parents are expecting a baby girl to be coming soon, and so I do have a nursery for the baby girl, but I thought it made sense just to put a bassinet in the parents' room. I thought that was kind of more realistic. A lot of people do that in real life. They have a nursery all ready to go for when the baby's ready for like the crib, but for the first 4 months until they start rolling over and lifting their head and stuff, they usually sleep in a bassinet next to the parents' bed because it's just, you know, easier for the parents. So I got the teens room done, but before I talk about that, I do just want to mention really quick before I forget, another thing about this family that, you know, makes it kind of obvious that they're not in fact human, is the fact that in the kids' room, I thought it was super cute to add one of those like alien creatures that is in a little fish tank, and I chose like the space octopus looking one, so I thought that was kind of cute. And then obviously the boys' room in general is space themed. He absolutely loves space. Most of the family members, you know, they really enjoy living life in the suburbs, and the little boy loves his friends and stuff, but he just has this fascination of space. I mean, it's where he is originally from, so it just kind of makes sense. And he wants to be an astronaut just like his dad is when he grows up. And so I have a mental table in here. I have as many space decorations as possible. I would have added the space lamp on the ceiling, but I have a ceiling fan instead, so it just didn't work out. On his dresser, I added one of these school projects, the already built school projects, and obviously I had to choose the spaceship one, so maybe he made a little model of the spaceship they have in the backyard. And I actually ended up building the spaceship in the backyard, or well, I had my Sims do it, and I have it, you know, built and loaded on the gallery, but for some reason when you download it, it does not have the spaceship pre-built. Like, it just resets itself, so you guys will have to build it yourself, unfortunately. But I did try to save it with it built, so don't get mad at me. Get mad at the game. And now I am just working on the baby's nursery. Of course, I had to add the little baby alien birth certificate in here. That would have been a missed opportunity if I did not add it in the nursery. I think that is so adorable, and that is the perfect touch to make it, you know, seem like this family might not be 100% human. And as far as the theme goes, it's just pink. I mean, it's just like everything's pink. There's not really much else going on. I have the wallpaper from Parenthood, and it has the little hearts in the center. I think it's super cute. And the main part of the nursery itself, I am using the Storybook Nursery Kit. That is such a cute kit. I definitely recommend it if you're a huge family game player like me and you want like that storybook nursery aesthetic. I just really love the crib. It has little bows on the slats on the crib, which I think is super cute. And finally, we are on this part of the build, which I had absolutely no idea what to do with. I ended up making it into a little guest house area, so it has its own bathroom, it has its own bedroom and like TV area, and it has its own little kitchenette, and it also has its own little office with a computer desk. I know this wasn't necessarily part of the request of the build, but I had no idea what to do here, guys. I could have made it into a game room, so if you download this and you don't want the guest house, you can make it into a game room. But I thought we had so many other options in this house to entertain the Sims that I just decided to make it a guest house. And maybe even there's a grandma or grandpa alien that wants to live here with the family, and so they could have this little area of the house. It's like their own little apartment unit. And honestly, there's really not much else to say about this little guest area of the house. I am going to take this time to talk about the teens room because I never got the chance to do that, and I think the teens room turned out super adorable. Teens rooms in general are one of my favorite things to build and like decorate here in The Sims, and it's probably obvious with how cluttered and detailed I make it. There's no details in the teens room that makes it seem like she's not human, because I really ran out of ideas at that point, if we're being totally honest. But I feel like the teen just really loves being in the suburbs and going to high school here and having human friends, and she really enjoys pretending to be human. She wishes she was human. So she's on the cheerleading team, and she's actually, I like to think that she's the cheer captain, actually. Like, she's really, really good at it. She's very athletic, which she gets the athleticism from her mom. Her mom loves to work out in the little gym, in the garage downstairs, and that is where the teenager works out too. They like to work out together and work on their fitness skill. The teenager has a little cheering mat in her room, and I really love putting the mirrors above the cheer mats, so it almost looks like they watch themselves in the mirror to look at like their form and make sure it looks correct. And then I have a keyboard in there so she can work on her music skills, and a computer desk so that she can either play games or chat with her friends online. And I just think her room in general turned out super cute and looks definitely like a teen girl's room. I use the bed from Lovestruck. It's like that heart-shaped bed, and I don't use that bed often, but I just think it's super cute, so I used it here. So we are now working on the cat's room. Yes, the cat has its own room. And I say cat even though it's not a cat. And I really like to think about it being like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Like maybe it looks and acts like Stitch. I know Stitch, you know, in the movie is called a dog. But think of Stitch but in cat form is what I like to think about in this situation. And of course the cat deserves its own room. I also just had no idea what to do with when it came to this room, and so I chose just to make it like a cat sanctuary. Maybe they have more than one cat, but the story just said one cat. But anyways, we have a cat tree in here. We have like two cat trees. One is the taller one, and the other is like a cat little condo sort of thing. We have a toy box in here. I have a litter box, obviously. I chose the one that kind of gets rid of the litter itself. It has like laser eyes. How awesome would that be in real life? Like I wish that existed in real life. I know there's like kitty robots and stuff, but you still have to clean the tray. Like this literally disintegrates the cat's business, if you know what I mean. So that would be really nice to have in real life. I have a lot of cute little tree decals all over the walls. I ended up putting a couple of those little cat decals, and I just think that cat's room turned out really cute. I've never done anything like that before, so it was super fun to do it in this build, and I think it was a nice touch. And I don't know, maybe that is another hint that this family's not really human because the cat has its own room, like it's one of the kids, you know? Like I feel like since it's not a cat, maybe it can talk, who knows? I'm not really sure what's unique about this cat that's not a cat, but I feel like there's something unique about it. And for some reason, I can also picture that cat loving to swim too. And that's something else that's like not something cats like to do. There's some cats out there that like to swim and like water, but the majority, not really. But that is it for the inside of the build. We are now starting to finish up the exterior. I am working on a little playground for the kids, and you know, the teenager probably used it when she was a kid. Maybe she likes to hang out and swing still, but it's mainly for the kid himself. And then of course, when the baby ages up to a kid, she will use it as well. And I chose to do a modular playground with a lot of different options on the modular playground itself. This was one of the bigger playgrounds I have actually built since Adventure Awaits came out. It was perfect because I have such a big area in the back there that I needed to fill it up. So we have a couple of different slides. One will be able to be used by the toddler, and then the other one is for the kid. So the toddler slide is for the kid, the shorter one is for the toddler, but obviously the kid can use the shorter one too, but I'm sure he will prefer to use the toddler one. I have a little like tube that's combining one area with the other. I have a double swing set that I guess would be considered a quadruple swing set because it has like two swings on each side. I love the look of that. I don't get to do it very often because I just don't have a lot of room a lot of the time, but it looks so realistic and it looks like a park playground that has, you know, two swings next to each other. I really love the way that little play area turned out, super cute. And I also was able to fit a little slip and slide, which is another thing that I don't get to do often just because I have such small areas to work with. I usually do like 30 by 20 lots is what I do mainly. and I always add pools and stuff and playgrounds, and so it leaves literally no room to be able to fit a slip and slide. And so I had so much fun being able to add it here. And it just makes sense, you know, for family builds anyways, but especially a family that is an alien family that's trying to be as human as possible. So they have all of the human activities. There is a little basketball hoop here with some basketballs as like decoration. And I have some bikes right there next to it. There is a set of trees in the backyard from growing together where you can build your own tree house. Obviously, there is the playground back there and the slip and slide. There's the pool area. We have a couple of hopscotches leading from the driveway to the front door. The only thing I would have loved to have added, but it was too late by the time I thought about it, I had already done the floor plan and everything, was adding a side door, like where the cars are. It would have been nice to add a side door where you can get into the side of the house where the garage is, but I forgot, it was too late and it wasn't worth changing at that point. So I added circular garden path stones from the actual build by catalog in this build, and I don't think I've ever done this on an actual build. I built like a little greenhouse room before. It actually got a Max's fave, which was like my first ever, I think. Well, not my first ever, but it was like my first ever like room that got it, maybe, I don't know, but it's my most downloaded and liked on my gallery, so you'll see it. It's called like Grandma's Greenhouse or something, and I used these stepping stones on that build and it looked super cute, but I've never done it on an actual house before. And I thought it was a nice touch to use it here. Like, it looks really cartoony and very meticulously placed, but I felt like it just made sense for a family that is pretending to be human. Like, they think a lot of humans love these really circular garden path stones or something. I'm not sure, but it just seemed like it fit this build and the story for this build, and so I ended up using it. I think they look super cute. I have them all around the build. It goes from the driveway through the back gate and it leads over to the pool area, and it also leads from the sidewalk right by the front door over to the pool area onto the left side. So it's almost like you can go into a full circle on this lot. I feel like that's super nice. But when I use garden path stones, I usually use the debug ones, and they just look more natural and they blend in with the game a little bit better. These are very cartoony and they're all the same size, but you know, there's garden path stones in real life that look like this too, so it could be considered realistic, but it was just fun as like a little change, and I feel like it makes sense for the storyline, like I was saying. And I like them. I'm just not sure if, you know, you guys are a fan or not, so let me know down below. Do you like these stepping stones, or do you like the ones I usually use better, like the debug ones that you find in the neighborhood? But we are pretty much done adding all of the decorations and functional items and everything. I am now just adding landscaping all over the place. Wherever I feel like it looks a little bit bland, I'm adding some landscaping. I'm doing these, you know, circular yellow bushes I always do, and some white hydrangeas, but the white hydrangeas are the ones from Royalty and Legacy. I absolutely love these. And of course, the hedgerow bushes I always use, my favorite hedgerow bushes in the game, and the debug bushes, like the super big circular ones. Those fill up a lot of space, and so I really love to use those. And I just think that they look really nice and they look realistic too. I wish that they would add those in the actual build by catalog so I don't have to go into debug every single time I want to use them. You know, it's nice. The debug landscaping is very nice when you're trying to save on simoleons, but if you don't care about the simoleons for the build and you're just trying to like hurry up and do some landscaping, going through debug to find those is a little bit of a pain. I know exactly where they're at, but it took some time, when it's just so much easier to be able to go into the catalog and just like click and put it down, you know? And we don't even have any of these big circular bushes like this in the actual build by catalog. The only one that we have is in base game, and it's too manicured. Like, it looks too cartoony. You probably know what I mean. I use it every once in a while, but not a whole lot. I just don't really like the look of it. I prefer these a lot better. So yeah, like, we need some big bushes in the build by catalog anyways, and that would be such an easy add, like literally just an update. They just change it from debug to an actual object. I feel like that's easy, you know? And we are now just adding some terrain paint, and that's pretty much going to be the last part of this build. So you see how the spaceship is built. I built the spaceship, it was there, and I saved it onto the gallery, and I feel like you can even see it in the picture of the build when it's on the gallery, but you download it and you have to build it yourself. So that is unfortunate, but like I said earlier, I did try to, you know, have it pre-built. It just, the game doesn't like it for some reason. So I just remembered there is a couple of more things I do before the end of the build. When I'm done with the terrain paint, in the very front yard off of the sidewalk that leads the driveway to the front door, I end up putting a little sitting area. I put like a bench, a little gardening bench. It's the one from Cats and Dogs. I think it's super cute. And I put a couple of garden decorations around it and a little table next to it with a little drink cup. You see that blank area that has no landscaping? I thought it looked a little weird because that's like literally the only place that doesn't have landscaping in that area, and that's why I ultimately decided to put a little sitting area there, like a gardening sitting area. And maybe they just like to work in the garden and they get hot and sweaty and they like to sit there and cool off while they're drinking some lemonade. Humans doing what humans do, you know? No aliens around here. And then other than that, around the playground, I add some little fairy lights from Toddler Stuff just to make it a little bit cuter, you know? Fairy lights never hurt anybody. And I would have loved to have added a telescope somewhere in this build. I cannot believe I didn't think about it until now. Unless I did and I just don't remember, but I'm pretty positive we do not have a telescope anywhere on this whole build, which is absolutely crazy to me. Wait. False alarm. I just seen one. I forgot that there was a balcony upstairs, and I do in fact have a telescope up there, so I knew it was not like me to not have a telescope in a build. I add them literally in every single build, so I was going to say that is crazy, but false alarm. But we have officially reached the end of today's build. I had so much fun today, and I hope you guys did as well. Of course, if you did, please do not forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already, and share this video with your friends if they are simmers as well and if you think that they would enjoy it. Don't forget to leave your request for a build down below if you have one. This is available to download on my gallery, which is linked down in the description box. I hope you all have an amazing day or night. Stay tuned for the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!